Jessie, a 10-year-old girl with big curious eyes and long auburn hair, sat next to her 8-year-old brother Sam. Sam, always full of energy, kept moving around as he copied the faces of the characters on the television. Their parents worked very hard and were often busy with their jobs. Because of this, the television became their babysitter. It told them stories, kept them company, and showed them a world full of bright colors and exciting adventures. For Jessie and Sam, it was sometimes hard to tell what was real and what was just a show. This afternoon, the smell of tasty stew filled the house. Their mother, Mrs. Grace, was in the kitchen chopping vegetables while humming a song. She trusted the kids to keep themselves busy. She didn't have much choice since she had so much to do. But Grace didn't know what kind of show her kids were watching. The program on the television wasn't for children. It showed people fighting, loud noises, and scenes of blood. The screen flashed bright images and the sound effects made everything feel tense. Jessie liked shows about magic and friendship, so she started feeling uneasy. She moved around on the sofa, frowning. But Sam couldn't look away. He was glued to the television, his eyes wide as he watched a man on the screen holding a knife. The knife shined under the light, and then the show showed fake blood as someone got hurt. The scene on the television showed violence like it was the right way to solve problems. "Sam, maybe we should change the channel," Jessie suggested softly, but Sam shook his head. "Just a little more," he replied, his gaze glued to the television. By the time the show ended, Jessie felt relieved. "Let's not watch that again," she said, standing up to stretch. Sam nodded absent-mindedly, his mind replaying the scenes. He was too young to understand the difference between fiction and reality. To him, what he saw was both thrilling and fascinating, a game worth trying. He didn't realize it, but he started copying what he saw. His hands acted like he was holding something and his body moved like he was in a fight. In the kitchen, the stew bubbled, sending its nice smell into the living room. Grace called to the kids, asking if they were hungry. Jessie, feeling upset by the show, quietly said, "No." Sam didn't answer. He was too lost in his thoughts about what he had seen. Grace thought the kids were just focused on their show and didn't notice anything was wrong. She went back to cooking, not knowing something terrible was about to happen. The television, like a silent stranger, had filled Sam's young mind with bad ideas. It was setting up a disaster that would soon break their family. The screen kept flashing its scenes, its light making scary shadows in the room, as if warning of the trouble to come. Sam walked around. He wanted to copy what he saw on TV. Looking into the kitchen, he saw shiny knives and went in while Grace was cooking. She didn't see him. He went back to Jessie, who was reading. "What are you doing?" Jessie asked. She looked worried. "Watch this," Sam said. He moved like those he watched on the television. He waved the knife and went closer to Jessie. "Sam, stop. It's dangerous," Jessie said. He was scared. But Sam didn't stop. He was playing. He swung the knife. His arm moved suddenly and the knife in his hand swung out. It hit Jessie before he even realized what was happening. There was a sharp gasp and then everything went quiet. Jessie stood still, her eyes wide with shock. She fell to the floor and her light dress started turning red. Sam stared at her, his eyes filling with fear. He stepped back, shaking all over. He couldn't believe what had happened. "Jessie," he whispered, his voice shaky. He bent down beside her, touching her face gently. "Jessie, get up," he begged, tears falling. "I didn't mean to. It was an accident." But Jessie didn't move. Her eyes were shut and her body lay still. The energy and life in her were gone. Sam's little world broke apart. He called her name again and again, louder each time, but she didn't answer. A terrible truth hit him. Jessie wasn't going to wake up. He jumped up and ran to his mother, who was still cooking, not knowing what had happened. He ran into the kitchen, his face pale, his hands covered in blood. He was still holding the knife. Grace turned and froze. Her son, the knife, the blood, it all made her heart stop. Fear filled her eyes. "Sam, what did you do?" she asked, her voice shaking. Sam stood there, confused and scared. He looked at his bloody hands and then at his mother. In a small, shaky voice he said, I did what I saw on television." Grace felt like the ground had disappeared under her feet. She followed Sam back to the living room, her heart beating fast. When she got there, she saw Jesse lying on the floor, not moving. Grace's worst fear became real. Her whole world fell apart in that moment. The stew boiled over on the stove, the smell that used to mean family and comfort now feeling cruel and empty. The television kept flashing its images, lighting up the room with strange, dark shadows. It was the only sound in the quiet house, other than Grace's scream. It was a loud, heartbroken cry that filled the house with pain. The television, which once brought fun, had caused a tragedy. Now it left behind a family broken forever. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts about the story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Thanks for watching.